Vegas, baby. Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby. It's coming up. It's coming up. Are you excited? Hey, Jordan, you excited for Vegas?
Oh, dude, I'm so excited for Vegas.
Dude, it's going to be nuts. I'm so pumped for Vegas. Why is it we're going to Vegas again?
I think our sweet, sweet little prince is having a bachelor party.
Our sweet Prince Vava?
Our sweet prince vacuum with an R.
Ah, yes. Well, you know what? In honor of that, even though we're a little bit early, um, we have this sweet, sweet prince on as our guest today. So everybody, welcome the captain, the doctor, the Va.
What's up, guys? Love that introduction. It's good to be here. And we are a little bit early for Vegas, but originally it was supposed to be this weekend. We
Really?
wanted
Oh,
to
really?
like it was supposed to be like Halloween weekend. Only issue was so like tomorrow is Diwali, and the day after that is like the Hindu New Year. So we're like maybe not having a Vegas bachelor party with alcohol on a religious day. So we pushed it back a week.
So now you're
Probably
just
good.
gonna
I'm
do
also
alcohol. Now you're gonna do alcohol on the religious day and on the bachelor party.
Exactly.
Okay,
Getting wasted tonight.
gotcha.
good. Yeah, I'm also very grateful that it wasn't this weekend because I have a wedding that I'm on the way to right now. So thank goodness.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that actually does because Deanna and I are popping over to New York for a little bit because we got free tickets a little while back for because JetBlue made us wait like 9 hours in an airport like a year and a half ago, and
Oh,
so
nice.
we got
Nine
we got
hours.
yeah, we were trying to go up to see my parents and we were flying into Boston and we waited in that airport for like 9 extra hours. Yeah.
That's almost as bad as one of Losh's layovers for his punishment.
Yeah, no, it was awful. So we got in it was an early flight and we still got in super super late. So
Wow.
yeah, they gave us some reimbursement that we had to it was about to expire, so we just for Deanna's birthday we were like it was like wasn't that much, but it was enough to get the flights there and back for like $12 a pop. So we're
When's
gonna
her
come.
birthday?
It's coming up on the 4th of November. So like this next
Oh, okay.
yeah, this
Nice.
next Monday. Yep.
You going to the city?
Yeah, we're just gonna go into the city and just hang out and we're gonna try to well, we're gonna see if the Yankees end up getting themselves swept, not to talk about baseball on a fantasy football pod, but if they get well not swept, but if they don't win tonight, um then it's over. But if they do win tonight, then I believe we'll get to see at least one game. Like we'll get to go to like a sports bar, like in New York, and watch the Yankees during the World
Yeah,
Series. So I think that'd be a pretty cool
That'll be fun.
experience, even if it's
that
the
will be.
Yankees. So and if we're so it's conflicting because obviously the Boston Red Sox. Oh well, obviously you all know I'm not like a huge baseball guy, but the Boston Red Sox in me naturally wants by no means for the Yankees to win. But the human being in me would just it would be very interesting to see New York City the night the Yankees because we would
Oh
be
yeah,
there the night they won. If they
yeah.
and especially
That'd
if it
be
was like a 3-0 comeback, um like that city would be going nuts, right? Like I'd imagine that city
yeah.
would be
Yeah,
absolutely
you would think.
insane. So, I
Oh,
mean,
dude, all the migrants out in the street, they'd be going nuts.
oh dude, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I would go start banging that Mickey Mouse that like stands out there in Times Square. All those different
Oh yeah.
characters. Yeah, dude. So,
I always had a thing for the Spider-Man in Times Square. I don't know why.
I
interesting.
wonder why.
Interesting. Yeah, so it's a little conflicting because baseball is not my first love, but I do it's the Yankees, so I can't yeah I can't say I'm like it's just one of those things where it's like I want the Yankees to win enough so that I can watch a game in New York of the World Series while it's happening and they're playing, but I also don't want them to win. But if they did win, then I'll be there and it'll be interesting to watch it go down.
Yeah.
So
How
What?
about you? Like, if the Red Sox do win, you should wear like a Red Sox jersey and just go out in New York, talk shit to everyone.
well, the Red Sox aren't playing; they're out. That's just the rivalry, like the hatred between the Sox and the Yankees
Oh,
is
gotcha,
very
gotcha.
strong. So it's just like you can't. Like I'm not gonna ever. I would never put on Yankees gear or like actively root for them like that. But just like if it
But you're
happens,
rooting for him.
if I am I'm rooting for him to win one game like that, not to win the whole thing, but to win a game so that we can watch a game. And hey, it would be funny as fuck to see all the New Yorkers if they lost. So
Yeah.
that's
That's
also
true too.
just as hilarious. Um, but we know Orlando. We all know Orlando. All too well. It's not a sports town. So I've never really been in
What are
a
you talking
sports.
about? The Magic are fucking on the come up, dog.
Flaw!
You ever been to a Orlando City game?
I have been to one. Yeah, I have been to one a while ago.
Those are fun.
It was. They
That's
definitely pack it. Yeah, they do. Um,
that's a sports city. It helps that the stadium holds like 25K, so it's always sold out. But
yeah. I mean, hey, listen. There's a lot of cities that don't even have sports teams. So I guess in that comparison, Orlando is a sports city. But
true.
um,
Oh.
I
All
don't.
San Antonio's got is Spurs.
Yeah, they love their
And
Spurs
then all
though.
the fucking Cowboys fans here.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll see what happens. But oh god, Ted is probably just not even. I mean that about the Red Sox, but we haven't even started talking about fantasy yet, and we're already a couple
Dude,
minutes in. So
Ted's already
he's
shut it off.
dude, he's double
We should
me
keep
talking about
going.
the Yankees and not
Yep.
saying
And then
outright that I want them to lose, and we're 6 minutes in and we haven't started talking about fantasy yet. Oh, dude.
Dude, he's too busy doing the backstroke in his pool of money that he won from his parlay.
Oh yeah, we gotta give. Maybe this will redeem the episode for him, but we gotta give a shout out here to Teddy. You know, that's a
We
big
do.
fat
We do.
dub. That's, you know what, man? Good for the man that he managed to get to hit that parlay because $5 into 700 is epic.
you know what would be more epic?
It's epic.
Next week, all of that money, all on black.
Whoa,
Yeah, I
whoa.
agree. And then if it doesn't work, double it and do it again.
Yeah, that strat never fails.
Actually, you know what? I think we should ask Ted about that. All of that on black would be interesting. I mean, it's
Dude,
money. It's it's money he didn't have before. So what's he really losing?
He's losing $700.
he's losing that money. He's got the money now.
Well, I mean, not if not if it hits black, man. Not if it hits black. Then he's winning big. All right. Well, let's give our fans what they're here for and take a look at the power rankings. So I don't know if you all have them up, but discussions about the power rankings. I mean, Jordan, you made some pretty bold statements into the group me about just how you felt about a couple of the rankings and just any thoughts. We'll start with our guest though, Va.
Real quick, I'm
Oh.
driving. Can you read 1 through 10 for me?
Va, are you looking at the rankings?
Yeah. Yeah, looking at him now.
Go ahead. I think the pod wants to hear your voice more than mine, so go ahead and
All
read them.
right. All right. So number one, we got. So again, I was with you, Sean. I thought it was 2 XP, but double XP weekend.
Thank you.
Number 2, the Kingslayer. Tied for three-way tie for third, but in order it goes Curse of Ra, Lights, Kamara, Action Jackson, and then Follow Spike. And then
Okay.
6th, Captain Dr. Vava. 7th, Living in Babylon. 8th, Chungus Begins. Oh, wow, we're going backwards. 9th is Easy Breezy Cover Girl, and 10th is Biting Kneecaps.
All right.
Okay.
So big changes
what are
though.
your
Like Kingslayer
thoughts,
went up. So this was very close to what I had. It was pretty much the same, except I had Chungus 9th and Easy Breezy 8th. So I had them flip flopped. But everything else I pretty much agree with. Matt's team just looks hella strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eddie Boy's team, it might have been a little reactive from him just going off as everyone does against you, Jordan. Sorry. I think that was the record this season so far. But I definitely, I put myself at 6. I don't know if that was a little bit of an inflation, but I think I have a solid team, and then I had to put Tuck down pretty low. Um, I I just had to. I agree with most of these rankings, and I was having a tough time deciding 8th, 9th, and 10th. But yeah, Jordan, you were surprised you were so high and everyone was above you, but I think you do have a solid team. It's just everyone just outscores you by a lot.
Dude, that's why I consistently rank myself low, is because I'm factoring in the just, I don't know what it is, the hatred that Harambe has for me. I did something, so I just
Yeah,
got the bad fantasy luck. That's why I have myself ranked last, and because that's how I am on in like the overall. I'm pretty sure when you look at the rankings. I had Tuck higher, and feel like he's at 8, right? In
he's
our
at
ranking,
9.
9. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
him at. I think I had him at 6. So to see him at
Okay.
9, I was a little shocked by that. Loesch, I feel like, is at a good spot at 3. I think I had Wardle at 2, and then
Oh, okay.
added 4 or something like that. But I can't. I'm not going to complain about the top. I think you can make an
Yeah,
argument for it there.
I think Matt was like a clear number 1. The only reason I dropped Wardle down was him losing Stephon Diggs is probably gonna hurt a little bit.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't even
Yeah, but I
realize he
think right
lost
now
Diggs.
Matt is the number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think he's I'd put him at 1. Um I still think so. I did put out of because I did do it more than just the roster. Like if I was only just going rosters, I wouldn't have had Matt at 1. But I weighed in like the fact that he's 6-2 and such. But because I still like Brennan's roster the best enough to where I put him at number like that's Brennan's roster. I know he's 3-5, but like that roster healthy on their best week might put up over 200 with ease. With who he's got in that lineup, like come on, I mean his
Yeah,
top
Tyreek, Saquon, Malik
Tyreek.
Neighbors.
Imagine a week where Tyreek, Neighbors, Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, and Burrow all
John.
go off. Like, dude,
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
it's
mean,
wraps.
you could make that argument for a lot of people, a lot of teams, though.
Yeah,
Like,
because
oh, if everybody on
look
their
at
team popped off,
Okay,
double
well,
XP.
let me put it this way: everybody else on their teams pops off and has their best week. I'm still taking Brennan's team on their best week. Like, let everybody else's teams pop off. If they're popping off the same as Brennan's, if everyone's having their best weeks, I'm taking Brennan's roster still. Like, his team is just it's good now. It's not performing, so he's ranked lower. He was ranked 2 for me because he's not performing. He's 3-5. Like everyone has me ranked last, and that's fair. Um, but I beat
I
him.
didn't have you last.
Yeah, I mean I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did beat him.
So
Thanks to some great pickups on the waiver.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
told him, well, I even almost blundered that one away though, with um with
Oh,
the whole Dalvin Cook thing. So I dropped Kate Otten,
Calvin.
and Kate Otten did better than Laporta by like 11 points. Now,
Oh wow.
Here's the thing though, it wouldn't have been as big of a discrepancy because if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have had anyone in the flex because Dowdle got ruled out like literally an hour before the game. So like, but
Well,
Dalvin didn't put that many
what if you
points up though. So
would have gotten tight end as a flex?
Yeah.
I didn't know because Dowdle's game was a night game. Everyone had already played on my
Oh,
roster,
okay.
so he was all that was
Either way,
left.
I see. Yeah.
I would have never gone tight end as a flex.
No, but that I mean, so that's it. Really, when you look at what I was doing, like it ended up being about an 8 point difference. But heck, man, that 8 points almost cost me. Like that almost
Yeah.
cost me. So
This is
Oh,
the
you
closest
won
game
by
this
what?
season.
.02.
it was
0.12.
it was 0.02 initially, and then they took a point 1 point away from a neighbor's yard that was added in fantasy that was not actually there. So
Mm.
it ended up being
Oh, okay.
0.12, which I was gonna ask on the pod if that was the closest margin of victory
It
this
is.
season,
It is.
This season, yes.
because I knew the only one closer was Va and JB, but I couldn't remember what that
Yeah.
was.
It was like 0.3 or 0.4, I want to say.
Okay, yeah, so 0.12 fucking point. We'll get. I'm sure I'm gonna be mentioned in the games, so we'll
No, probably not.
we'll get
Yeah,
there.
I don't
We'll
think
get
so.
there. Well, maybe then I'll have to self suck, but I want us to move on to well, that actually
Hold on,
moves
wait.
us.
What are your thoughts on the rankings? You didn't give us your input.
I mean, I
You
gave a
said
little.
you like Brennan, but
I like Brennan.
Yeah, you just like,
I had lower people higher because I like your roster, but you're not winning, which is why I had you at 4 when I really would have put you at 2, um, and maybe 3. So I had you right around
you're talking about Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah.
JB I had higher because I like how his team is shaping up now that he's committed to the captain and the Gibbs. Um,
good.
I mean Nick Chubb is coming back into form. I think he had a how was his second week back? Because his first week he had double digits. His second week I'm not sure. But like JB's got 3 starting running backs, including one in his flex. Nick Chubb had 6, so he didn't have a great week. But the Baltimore
Yeah.
run defense I think is
He,
is pretty. I mean he'll be up and down I
yeah.
think
And
to the
he
season.
has the volume. And now with Winston like at the helm, I feel like he's going to be, the whole team's just going to be better. I'm hoping.
Yeah, and
Hopefully,
Evan Ingram's up and down too, as he is. He'll have double digits or he'll have single. Khalil Shakir I think was a good ad while Mike Evans is hurt because he's like I was monitoring it. I just didn't really feel like I could use another spot for wide receiver because I've already maxed it out and there was no one I wanted to drop for him. But Shakir's like rapport with Josh is good. He's not getting the
Yeah.
touchdowns, but he's getting a lot of catches for a lot of yards. So like
Yeah.
that's a
I
good
mean, last two
ad,
weeks he's double digits without touchdowns, which is a good
which is
sign.
nice. Yeah, that is nice. And then like otherwise he's all right. Like I didn't have him as a top team, but I had him right in the middle. I think higher than like where he was at like I think 8. So
The
um
problem I was having like when making these rankings was like every single person's team I think was like, oh, like shit, that's not a bad team, like really good players, potential's there. But then it's like, who do I bump from the top spot or like the top few spots to put that team on? So like
yeah.
I was
yeah.
having trouble with it. There's no clear. I don't think there's a clear like bottom team.
No, I think there's a lot of parity in the league. I think
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that like yeah, again, like I'm ranked at the bottom. I view that as completely fair. I didn't have myself there this week, but I didn't have myself much higher than that. I think I was like 8 on my own rankings. I really don't think that I don't think there's a clear bottom team. I mean, I hate my running back core. But even me as the bottom team,
yeah,
like my even after losing Chris Godwin, like Terry McLaurin and DK are good receiving core. Josh Allen's good. My tight end seems serviceable, and then I have the number
Tillman
one
was a great
defense and number
pickup.
one kicker. So, like my running backs are
Yeah,
a mess, but my team as a whole actually isn't terrible. But again, I think you can say that for anyone. See, like I don't like you said, there's not like an objectively like
yeah,
awful team. So,
yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
which makes it more entertaining for when it comes down to the wire. Uh, so yeah, it's we'll see. But yeah, I mean, my thoughts are it was all over the place when I was making the rankings with all 3 of our rankings, but I think it ended up. I mean, I don't have a big quarrel with necessarily anything I'm seeing. I think
Yeah,
it's all right around. This is the first time we've ever had, I believe, 3 tied spots though. So that was an interesting one. Tied for third. Three players, 3 people tied for third.
yeah,
So
Really.
yeah, that was an interesting one to do the math on. Um, and then the tied for third was there for them, and then I just put them. The way I chose how to order them was just basically like there were 3 of us, so which person was ranked higher than the other 2 more consistently on the 3 rankings, and like Loesch was the highest on like 2 of the 3 lists, so I put him at the top of the tied for third. That's how I like ordered the who would go where.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it fits the record too.
yeah, yeah, that's true. So, yeah, no, it's interesting, but not as interesting as what we're about to talk about, which is our recaps from last week and letting our wonderful, soon to be married guest Va give us who he believes is his winner of the week.
Ooh, winner of the week. I'm gonna have to go with double XP weekend. Um, yeah, I'd have to give it to Matt. I know there were a bunch of really good games, like had just outscoring you, having a very close victory. But I think with Matt, he just had all his players pretty much show up, um, and it puts him at 6-2, kind of right in contention for that top spot in his division. So I think it's an important win for him. Um, and I just really like his team. Like everyone showed up. He had one, like I think lowest scoring, not including defense and kicker, was his tight end Trey McBride. Oh wait, I'm not looking at the right team. Yeah, so Amari Cooper and Amon-Ra kind of underperformed, but everyone else was solid that game. It's a good win. Um, not much more to say for me.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick. I mean, man's top of the top of the power rankings for a reason because he keeps winning, keeps putting up good weeks. He's a powerful team right now. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
He's got a good
I wish
he's got a good running
wish
back
I was that
core,
powerful.
and he was very smart to not hit the panic button. I don't know if he had offers for James Conner, um, but like a couple weeks ago, Connor like got low in carries, and even I was thinking like, because he offered me Connor at one point, like, and
Mm.
like when we were packaging like this, that, the other, he's like, oh, I could maybe. I was like, he's like looking like he's starting to lose carries, but James Connor's
Who were you trying to
continuing
get rid of?
to do his thing. It was a couple weeks ago, I forget. Um,
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
sure you do. I'm sure you do.
but this. Like he's bounced back since that 5 point week, and he's back to just like his normal James Conner self. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's got three great running backs. Um,
Also, like running backs have played better than his receivers, but still solid receivers. I think Amari Cooper is going to be. He's going to end up fine. I think.
yeah, it's gonna take time to get used to the system.
Exactly. And then Amon-Ra,
Yeah.
can't go wrong with him.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um,
I'm just glad his name is better this season.
yeah, he had some weird ones last year. Not too big of a fan. Not too big of a fan. Um, but what I am a fan of is Jordan giving us his winner of the week.
All right. So my winner of the week, and this is not pandering. This is a team that I woke up on Tuesday before I knew who the guest was and was looking at who I was going to pick my winner of the week. And I was shocked that my winner of the week, Captain Dr. Vava, was like middle of the pack for rankings in the league.
Oh
Because
yeah.
here I am long, not only talking shit about his team, but thinking that he's got 2 wins like me. No, that's not the case. The man's
No,
got 4 wins, right?
who was
Or
the one
four,
that was
4-4,
telling you
baby.
his team was on the come up? By the way, you stood up for his roster a couple weeks ago.
See, don't try to act like you did because I don't have
Good point.
any memory of this.
Vod, did you listen to that episode?
It's a good thing these episodes are recorded.
It is.
So Sean did sing your team's praises.
I don't know exactly. It wasn't last week, but it was one of the episodes before that, I believe.
This was before you went on your little run. I looked at your roster and I said it looked. Well, I broke it down. Like I had a whole breakdown of it. And
I
then you
must have
said
been gone that week.
and you said that you were thinking differently about Va because of how eloquently I had put his roster. Do you remember this, Va?
Yes, I do.
See?
Yeah, well, listen, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I
Was that
black out
right?
on these
Was that
episodes.
before like my
Yeah. Okay.
streak of what 2-3 wins?
What's that?
But no, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. I will say, obviously, lack of schedule or strength of schedule is a big part of fantasy. I have the lowest points for, I'm pretty sure. But hey, I will take it.
Well, I mean, I like your squad. I remember during the draft thinking to myself, because you didn't keep Monty, right? Monty was a pick you made again this year.
Um,
He was a keep.
I think I
He was
did
a
keep
keep.
Monty.
Yeah, Monty was a
Oh, all
keep.
right, never mind.
Yeah.
So I feel like during the draft I was thinking like, oh, if Monty's there, maybe I snag him, but I was worried about Gibbs taking over more of the workload. But no, it turns out, what do they call them? Sonic and Knuckles. They
Sonic and Knuckles.
Yep.
they have a nice little timeshare that
Yeah.
works out where both guys are producing points. Yeah, I mean, shout out to the winner of the week, 138 points, right?
It's a good
If I
win.
remember that correctly.
Yeah.
It's a great win.
I will say, I was really happy about this one because it gives me the head-to-head over Wardle in our division, who's number one. And I already have the head-to-head against, I think, Sean and someone else.
Well, that's
So,
another thing too. You took down Wardle, who's been number one in the power rankings for how many weeks? Handed
yeah,
him his second straight L, third straight L.
Well, I think he was 5-0, and I think he's lost 3 straight.
he's 5-3 now. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it started with Kingslayer, though.
I think, yeah. Yeah, I think it did start with Kingslayer. And speaking of Kingslayer, it's my turn to talk about my winner of the week.
Oh,
I'm not going to give myself
oh wow,
a self-suck. I'm going to go to the man who put up a big fat 176 against none other than my co-host living in Babylon. Look, when you said it last week after I played you, you said in the chat, like, if you want to have your best week, come play me. Well, Teddy played you, and he dominated.
yep.
that's
Um,
actually
Oh,
insane.
a lot of those points, not a lot, but like what got him kind of over into that 170s was definitely that Jaden Daniels Hail Mary. Because before that, I don't think his points. He ended up with almost 30, and before that, I don't think he was at near that.
dude. So
So
that single play, that one Hail Mary, I believe it was a 16-point swing, because not only how many points Jaden Daniels got, but how many points my defense simultaneously lost.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
oh, that's true. How much did it lose?
Well, it went up however many points you lose for the points, which I think was like a 2-point loss for points, and then a 1-point loss for the extra yard.
Yards.
He got the 6-point touchdown, plus the 2 additional points, plus the 50 whatever, and I think that also put him over 300
They
yards.
put him over 300.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was doing the math. I want to say it was like a 15 or a 16-point swing on that single play.
Which is crazy. Which I don't know. Did you guys watch that live? Because I caught that. I ended up catching that live.
I did.
I had popped
did.
the
I
game
did.
on
I
because
wanna
it
talk about
had
it.
implications. I was hoping the kicker could get some action. My kicker, Siebert, could get some
Dude,
action. I was actually mad because it wasn't an overtime game. I was pretty pissed off because I'm like, wait, they're all going to the locker room. Aren't they required to kick the field goal or the extra point? Like, shouldn't Siebert go out there and get a nice extra point for me? Because I know in overtime, if you score like that, like there's no extra point that has to be kicked. But I guess there's a rule that extends. It must be that if it's out of, like, if they score like on a game-winning play like that with no time left, there must be a rule that says in there that, like,
yeah, I don't
if
think
it's
they have to.
Yeah, I mean time expired. Like there's no time left, no chance for a comeback. There's no need to.
Yeah,
well,
even
because
if you were to, like,
it
let's
would
say,
have to be
block
enough
that and
though.
return it.
It would have to be enough that because it would be an untimed kick, and so it would have to be enough that, like, they're leading by more than 2 points. Because remember, you could return they could get blocked and returned for 2 points potentially. So I'd imagine it would have to be a lead of 3 or more points to negate that play from even from happening.
Yeah.
Right.
I
So
wonder. I don't know.
yeah. So hey, I mean, it was a sick play. It was a sick play. I was pretty pumped. I was hoping it was Terry too, but I was still, like, I was actually excited. I jumped up just because it was such a good football play in general, and it was the Bears that were getting beat. So
Fuck you.
yeah, that was great. That was great.
Listen, I love watching the Lions. I'm loving seeing them do well. So fuck you.
You're just loving Monty right now.
No, I'm loving the whole fucking team. They're fun to watch.
Who else on
They're good
Ted?
football.
Ted had a few more people that went pretty stupid on his squad. I know Mixon had a good day.
Nixon always has a good day.
Oh, Mixon went insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, all Mixon does
Insane.
is have 20-point games, except for the game he got hurt. Literally, he's
I want
24
to say
points
his
or more.
defense. I want to say his defense dropped some
Defense
points
dropped
too.
16.
Yeah.
Achan had 24.7. Kittle had 23 almost.
Yeah, dude. So just
Everyone was double digits, and his kicker was 8. So yeah.
I got fucked. I got absolutely fucked.
Man, when do I play you again, Jordan? I'm hoping I play you again.
Bro, if you go back and you look at the schedule, like it really is. People when they play me have like their top 3 week, if not their best week. It's just crazy. I don't understand what I did. I've tried to atone. My dick's been out in public spaces for Harambe.
Yeah.
And
your last 4 losses have been the other team scoring 149 or more.
yeah, that hurts.
That is rough.
All your losses are 149 or more, except for one of them, which is like 125. That's
Yeah. So.
Wow.
That's can't say I'm not pissed off about it, but what the fuck can I do? That's just what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We
Have
play,
you
we
eaten
play
Snickers?
in week 14.
Okay. Hopefully by then I'll be.
The curse might not work against me because I'm 0-1 against you. You've already beat me week 2. So
that's fair.
we'll see.
Yeah, we will.
Well,
yeah, shout out to Ted's 170.
Yeah, for sure. That was a good one for the Kingslayer as he continues his reign. But now let's take a turn. And Va, why don't you go ahead and tell us who your loser of the week is?
Loser of the week. I'm gonna have to give it to Follow Spike.
Yeah.
Not only because it's a tough loss. Yeah. Obviously, I haven't looked at his bench. I haven't seen if there's like, if I would have done that, if I would have done that. But again, doesn't really matter. But not only the fact that it was like a 0.12 at the time, 0.02 point loss, but also I think this puts him. He had a chance to go 4-4, kind of be a little competitive. His division's good; it's close, so he still has a chance. But he's now last in the division. Gonna take a couple more wins to make it to playoffs now. But I don't know. He showed up. He had a solid score. I think one of the highest ones in terms of losses of everyone that lost, but not enough to beat Sean. And the fact that you're losing to Sean, ranked 10th in the power rankings, that can't feel good either.
that is painful.
Yeah, he's again. I mean, I texted Jordan. You texted me and asked me how I felt about the matchup, and I said that I didn't feel too good about it. I said anything can happen. Harambe's will, and other than that, I didn't feel good. And how can you feel good when one, you're starting Tank Bigsby and Chubb Hub, but more importantly, you're looking across the other side of the rosters and you're seeing Saquon, JT, Tyreek, Malik Neighbors. Like, yeah, how are you supposed to feel?
Yeah.
And I'm starting Cedric Tillman, and turns out great start, but like,
yeah, outscored everyone.
Yeah, he did, and there was that Jameis game-winning touchdown too that put him over the top. Did you guys see that in the highlights? That game-winning touchdown to Tillman?
I saw the play. Yeah.
I didn't realize that was Tillman though. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was great. I got to see that one. I got to catch that one live too because they had turned it on when another game had ended at the end of the 1:00. So I got to catch that live. So that was good. And this is football, man. Like, this is what football is. Because like some weeks I'm watching DK's ass roll down to the 1-yard line against my own team and end up short. And and Khalil Shakir ending like half a yard short, and then other weeks I'm getting to accidentally tune in live to see Cedric Tillman game-winning score that's like helping me win. So it's football,
That's
man.
why we love it.
That's why we love it.
That's why we love it.
Yep. But yeah, I mean you can't. I was just saying on the last pod. I mean, for anyone who is in that range of games, like we have our couple that are like only 2 losses, and we have our couple that are already down to 5 losses. But everyone in that mix in between, like record wise, like this was not. It's like 7-6, 7-7, barely got people in last year. Like I was left out
Yeah.
at 7-7. So what? Like Spike can only lose like twice, 3 more times. Like it's not. The window's narrowing. The window is narrowing.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But that was that it's definitely. I mean, you can't a .12. That's the closest loss of the season. So yeah, that's going to be a brutal
Yeah.
L. But let's see if Jordan can name one more brutal. Who's your loser of the week?
Well, I don't know about more brutal in terms of the fashion of the loss, but my backup loser of the week, because Vaughn did take my initial loser of the week, is the man in the same matchup that had my winner of the week. My loser is James Wardle.
Ooh.
And this is painful to do because I like the guy. He's got a lot of moxie. He used to be a great vibe reader. Now it just seems like the vibes are dead. 3 straight L's. What's going on over in La La Land? What happened to take away his vibe meter? It's he was texting me all upset about Kyle Shanahan. Called him Shanna Hussein because I guess he doesn't report injuries. He's living and dying by the 49ers, and right now they're killing him. They are killing him.
Mainly because of injury too.
Yeah, yeah. You look at his squad, and the injuries are not only is his squad 55% Niners, but it's also a lot of injured folks.
Do you think
Who are on a bye next week, so he's putting in all his bench players.
Oh man.
So this could become 5-4 really quick. Do you think that something about his vibes had to do with his Wardus?
He
Because
lost the war, dude.
well, he lost it, and the streak started
I
with
mean,
losing it to the Kingslayer, but Kingslayer has since lost it. If we're tracking Wardus, I actually next week, because I'm just thinking about this right now, we should have a segment. Just it can be very very brief, especially if the same person is one. Where we could just do, or we could do it once every couple weeks. We could do a segment. Where's the Wardus? And just
we have
figure out
it
where it
right
is.
now.
And we'll start with this
we
one.
had
So
a whole discussion in the preseason about, hey, what does it mean? Like, is it the winner takes it, or who's is it to lose? Is it Wardle's to lose?
So it resets
But
with
we haven't been
Wardle every
tracking it this
season.
season. Resets
Yeah,
with Wardle every
resets with
season,
Wardle.
and whoever beats him gets it. Whoever beats them gets it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's do our segment. Where's
Then
the
it just passed
Wardus?
around.
Wait, so did Wardle have it when he played Kingslayer? Oh yeah, because he never lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kingslayer took it.
And oh shit, I'm looking at it right now. Kingslayer lost to Matt.
Matt's got the Wardus.
Matt grabbed the
Well,
Wardus last week, and he has not let it go.
Oh, dude. He's taking out all that aggression that he didn't get out with Blondie on the Wardus.
But hey, it is the curse of Raz to take. Oh wait, no. I'm looking at the wrong. It is Chungus's to take.
Chungus
in
begins.
Week 9.
Wait, and he just changed his name to Chungus Begin. So does Chungus begin with getting the Wardus?
And going on a Wardus run.
Is this the beginning of Chungus?
It could be.
What's the third? Wait, so hold on. Chungus Begins. Dark Chungus Rises. What was the third Batman movie's name?
Just the Dark Knight.
Oh,
Right? It was
so
Batman Begins. It was Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises,
I thought it was.
right? Or my
Oh,
my trip is.
Chungus is honestly, this image is crazy. I'm zoomed in on it right now.
Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and then yeah, you're right, The Dark Knight Rises. So he's already
Yeah.
went through 1 and 3. So maybe it's yeah, we'll see what the next evolution is. But if he gets the Wardissi, maybe
Yeah,
to
maybe.
play Chungus Wardissi.
A Chungus Wardissi would be nuts.
That would be insane.
That's beyond comprehension. I'm not even sure that we can handle that happening.
Do you think we can handle if he puts up a new image for
Of
the Chungus Wardissi?
Chungus just going to town on a Wardissi.
What would an image of a Wardissi look like?
Bro, I don't even want to know.
I think next time World with guests, we got to make it a video podcast, and maybe you can show us.
That's a good idea.
That would be nice. Get a little sight of the Wardissi.
Wardissi sighting.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I'm actually of the, and I know Chungus was a name for the people. You know, he responded to the people's wants, but now that he's got, listen, I'm not one that changes my name that often. I've only done like 1 or 2 temporary changes over the past like 3 years, and like before that I had the same name for the previous 4. I'm not a big name changer, and if you just came off of winning the league with the name the Captain and the Gibbs, and you now have the Captain and the Gibbs, I know
That's a good
Chungus
point.
is the name of the people, but I would revert back to what the name you had when you won the league, to be honest, if you have the players.
Yeah.
That would be my
But
first instinct. Yeah, that's what I would do personally.
And I will say the name hasn't been working out for him, so I'm all for changing.
No, Chungus has not done him very well actually. In fact, let's see what his record is since he changed his name to Chungus.
It's and whatever, however long ago he changed it. Because the last win was week 4.
Well, let me go to, where is he? Chungus begins. There it is. It's win-win.
So I don't know when he changed it, but I think it was recently, like 2-3 weeks at least, or around.
Well, let's take a look at the. We'll go to recent activity. I think I can filter it by person.
Oh, name changes.
Yeah, what was it before that? It was Tuck that initially sparked the Chungus name.
It was still the Captain and the Gibbs. He had the Captain and the Gibbs still.
No, not before Chungus.
No.
Oh, did he fuck around with it a little bit?
No, remember there was that episode with Tuck where Tuck was reading. It was like the Big Chub or something like that.
Yeah, that's why we came up with
Tuck
Chungus.
said
Yeah.
The Big Chungus or something.
It doesn't show up in recent activity for me.
So you want to do LM actions. Yeah, so he was. Oh, and you want to do start date. You want to go back to September. I have it right here on the computer. So you want to go back to, like, I'll just do September 1st. Okay, so he. So.
Oh wow, he.
September 16th. Yeah. So. Oh. LM actions just includes everybody. I guess you can't filter down to a person. Let's see. Captain the Gibbs. Oh, so he changed his name on September 2nd from Captain the Gibbs to DUI2 Run the Streets. And he changed it to St. Camillus de Lillis at one point. And then he changed it to, let's see, Pickens my Big Chub Johnson.
Yes. Yes.
Pickens my Big Chungus Johnson, and that's what we said.
And then he listened to the people like a true showman.
He did. He changed it, but but here's the thing though. So he changed it to Pickens my Big Chungus Johnson. He renamed it to my Big Chub Johnson to Chungus. He did that on Friday, October 4th. So with his schedule, if you look at his schedule, Friday, October 4th. Dang, man, when was his first loss
I
was
think it was
week
4 weeks
5.
ago.
It was week 5. So would that have been week 5 would October 4th have been week 5?
So the 25th, which just passed, was week 8. 18th would have been 7. 11th would have been 6, and then 4th would have been week 5.
So since he's changed his name to Chungus for the people, he's lost every game.
Yes,
Wow.
Wow.
man.
Hey, I mean,
Is this podcast to blame?
I mean, he was responsible
it
for
could
his
be.
own actions, but I think this podcast also in promoting Chungus should also for looking out for our boy JB. I mean, JB, I'm advocating for you to be the captain of the Gibbs again. I think you won the league with the name. You have both the players starting. You're riding with them. I would just commit to that because apparently Chungus is not working out for you.
Listen, say what you will about the team manager. He's a man of the people, and he's a showman, and he does what the people want. But maybe now he needs to do what's best for his squad,
Yeah.
and that might be changing the name.
Yeah, he's got a lot to think on here with this one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a very good chance that after this pod drops, if he makes a decision, like we may be looking back at the Chungus chapter as like one of the darkest chapters for him in his history in this league. Like,
That's true. Maybe Chungus
Well, I mean,
isn't
he has.
isn't Go ahead.
I was gonna say he has lost the league, so I would say that's probably darker.
That's
But
true. What's the punishment this year? It's SAT, ACT,
SAT.
SAT,
SAT. All right.
which I'm praying I do not have to take. Oh, because
Yeah.
if I don't get an S, like I might just, if I do, I don't think I will have to end up taking it. But if I do, I don't think I will take it seriously because I feel like I'll do badly. And if I take it seriously and still do poorly, that's when you find me hanging from the fucking rafters, just swinging.
Yeah,
All my boys instantly have proof that I'm an idiot. Come on now, can't happen.
yeah.
There's always been suspicion, but
In that world, I'm gonna not study. I'm just gonna wing it. Yeah.
yeah,
For
well,
sure.
if I wing it, I'm just going in every bubble is A.
Listen, I'm actually gonna try if I do end up losing this thing.
Really?
Yep. Fuck it. I want to see.
All right, fuck it. I'll try if I lose.
I was gonna say maybe Chungus isn't the hero that this league deserves, but it's not the one that it needs right now. Whatever that fucking quote is.
Maybe the real Chungus is the friends we met along the way.
That may be true, but I just think it. Like, listen, it's up to him, and I'm for whatever he decides. It's his team, but it might be
Yeah.
time for this chapter to close on Chungus in our league.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's
Sad.
That's
That's sad to think about.
it is because Pickens, my big Chungus Johnson it was it was real. The energy was there.
Oh, dude,
Yeah. So
I'm getting emotional about it.
no, it's an emotional thing. And speaking of emotions, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not listed my loser of the week yet,
You have not.
Oh, you
and
haven't.
it's making
But
me pretty
hold on,
emotional.
what is that? Oh, okay. Say, what
So
does that have to do with emotion?
I would have just ran right into it, but I couldn't remember if I had listed my loser of the week yet.
No, you haven't.
So my loser of the week is gonna be someone who's they're EC, they're Breezy, and they're
No.
100% a cover girl. They're also almost a dad and newly a
Aw.
husband.
Aw.
but it's going to be Tuck. It's going to be Tuck. Tuck is going to be my
Wow.
loser of the week here because Tuck was riding high, and Va, you talked about blaming the pod for JB. Maybe the pod's to blame for this because we were
Listen,
giving Tuck a love
the
suck.
amount of dick riding that Tucker got last week was disgusting.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Go on. Okay,
Go
let's
ahead.
hear.
Yeah,
Hold
go
on,
on.
wait. Yeah.
I'll give you my time. Go ahead.
I want to hear your explanation for why we were the loser of the week
Okay.
for Tuck,
Uh,
because he was my backup. He was gonna be my backup.
okay. Well, we had been giving him a big. We gave him a big suck. It was mainly me, but he was getting love. Um, and he comes in on a big streak. I mean, what was he? 0-3, and then he was 4-4. What was he? 0-4 and then 4-4. I think it was 0-3 and then 4-4.
Yeah.
I think
Think
it started with
0-3.
him beating me. Oh yeah, because he was. No, I'm sorry, because he was
Yeah,
four and
0-3.
three. He was 4-3 coming into this week, so he was on a 4-game win streak, and
Yep.
riding high. Liked his team. Drake London balling, Brian Thomas balling, Brock Bowers is second or third best tight end in the game, right? Young guy doing a Laporta style thing this year. And his team was young and exciting, and Tuck was being very humble about him, and he was, he was getting Puka back, and it was just all good things on Tuck ends. T Higgins looked good, and then he just came up and put up the worst numbers of the week. Which, by the way, I know it hasn't always been like this, but a quick side note: if we're getting to a point where our worst week, people are at least the worst person is cracking 100, I would say that's proof of parity for sure. There,
Yeah.
because we've had years past where players like, I mean, we've had it this season too, but
Mm-hmm.
if we're getting to that trend where our lowest person is 104, that's not bad. But um, anyway, yeah. So he put up the league low, got smacked around by 2XP weekend, and there was nothing I don't think that he could have done to even come close to winning because I think anybody would have offset his point total there. I think, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I guess technically there's a world where he could have put Josh Downs and Puka in, but I don't even know if that would have given him, if he had just put those two in over his starting two. I don't know if that would have given him the win though. So he lost. He lost. And I don't know. I thought he had Wardle's vibes. I think we've since discovered potentially that whoever has the Wardussi has the vibes, but I mean, Tuck's clearly, I mean, is this going to be the downturn of his team? Is it going to pick back up? I mean, it's to be seen. So he's got a lot of young players that you don't really know what direction they're going. Um,
Yeah.
Drake London, Brian Thomas, Brock Bowers, C.J. Stroud, like that's the core of his team, and we don't have that much on them really. I mean, Drake London with a real quarterback, we don't have that much on, and Brees Hall with the Jets now. Oh my God, the Jets, dude! Like I would have never thought
Yeah. Falling
they would
apart.
be this. I mean, they are a disgrace. So that's going to affect Brees Hall. So yeah, I mean, Tuck's taking a hit, and that number one Minnesota defense, 2 points. So anyway, that's why I had him loser of the week. But now I want to
Does
yield.
Minnesota have the
Yeah.
number one defense?
I don't know if they were number one or two, but they were because they're only three right now. Matt pointed it out last week. Of course he did when he was on here. I think they're like thought they were number one when he had mentioned it, one or two. I know
Okay.
like the Broncos, the Bears, and the Vikings were all like the top three.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I
Okay.
want to yield the rest of my time to Voss so we can hear what he has to say because he's been build. This has been building
Listen,
up.
maybe I should have saved this for the fucking uh, Jackaroni segment.
Hey, if you want to, we
But
can keep building the suspense.
nah, I'm just gonna say so. So Tuck's team, like we said, everyone's team is pretty solid. I had him ranked, I think sixth or seventh in the power ranking. So I like his team and everything. I think this is just some built up resentment from our previous matchup. It was another one of those close ones, which was like by a point or something. And I'm still not over the fact that he, I think it was one of the episodes that he was on with bad mouthing Bijan so much. Maybe not so much, but he was like, "Oh man, I'm so glad I didn't draft him this year. Like I let him fall to Bruin or something like that." And it it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Bijan's my top player. He's showing up, so I didn't want to hear the Bijan slander. And then I tuned into the podcast last week, and every 5 minutes, Sean's just fucking,
Oh, I had both
fucking
hands. I had both hands and I was
yeah.
twisting.
Oh yeah.
Um,
But that's all I'll say about that.
thoughts, Jordan?
No thoughts.
My
Expected
only
the biggest.
thought. Go
I
ahead.
was
Go ahead.
definitely stuck off crew last week for.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
shit.
My only question from that rant is, you said something rubbed you the wrong way. Has Tuck ever rubbed you the right way before?
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. Maybe next weekend.
Okay, yeah. I mean
Hey,
that'd be a pretty
Yeah.
good gift. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, speaking of other good gifts, Va, how about you gift us with your matchup of the week heading into this week's set of
Oh,
games?
already
oh
thought
my
about this.
god.
It's gonna be me and you, Sean. Our matchup.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Um,
Oh,
Okay. Wow.
that because
yeah,
you two used to bang. That because
that's
y'all used
always
to
a
just
given.
go at it.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I called him Nanu.
half those moans that you were hearing from Tim's room were actually not Tim.
Was the music loud enough for you? Yeah, it was fine. Okay.
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 Oh, sick.
But no, we're both 4-4, same division. I have the head-to-head against you, and it's my chance to get one more game up on you, or you have the opportunity to get a game up on me, even up the head-to-head. So I think it's big playoff implications for both of us.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And you know what's even more interesting than that is that week one we were head to head. Right now,
Yep.
this week we're about to be head to head, and next weekend we'll be head to
And then
head.
next week we're going to be head-to-head. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So a lot of head to heads for us in this span so far. But I'm looking forward to next weekend's head to head the most, if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I can get behind that.
but you're gonna have to get in front of it if we're gonna be head to head.
Now I'll be getting behind you, I think.
Only if I'm behind Jordan at the same time.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, you can't hear us though, right? I hope.
No, I can hear you now. Someone was calling me, so it kicked me out of the chat, but I'm back.
Okay, nice, nice. We were just talking about that we're excited for Vegas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, um, anyway, yeah. I mean, I'm excited for our matchup. Definitely big playoff implications. You're projected to win right now, but Brennan was projected to win by like 20 something, almost 30 last week.
Yeah.
Projections
Wardle was
don't
projected at
matter.
like, yeah, exactly.
Projections don't matter.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. So, um, we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited for the matchup. It's definitely a big one. Same thing that happened last week. Again, I won last week, and it was the same thing. But I don't like looking at Chubb Hub and Uncle Rico against
Yeah.
Bijan and David Montgomery. So against Knuckles. So
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah,
see.
you don't want to have to root against, Yeah.
We'll see. I
It'll
mean,
be
I
good.
like my receiving core better if healthy. I think our
Oh,
tight
dude.
ends.
Yeah.
I think our tight ends are pretty solid. Pretty
Yeah.
offsetting. Even though Njoku's been pretty great since there's been no Deshaun Watson. I like my
Yep.
defense and kicker better. I think our flex is kind of offsetting, and then our quarterback situations are pretty similar. Jalen Hurts had a beast week last week.
He went off.
He got most of his points in the second half, didn't he? Because I think around
He
halftime
did because
he only had a couple
yeah,
points.
they were not doing great the first half, and then he ran in for a couple touchdowns. I think threw a couple.
Yeah, oh, there it goes. So I know
He had
you
a
guys
he had a
can't.
deep bomb to Devontae Smith that as soon as he threw it, I was like, please be
Yeah,
AJ
the
Brown
45
down there.
yarder.
And sure enough, it was not AJ Brown.
Yeah. Maybe another deep bomb to Devontae next week so I can get the stack.
I hope not. Um, we'll have to see. But yeah, I think it'll be an interesting matchup.
Yeah. Is DK confirmed back or is he still kind of
No, not confirmed. And
okay?
I actually haven't looked. Let me see what his.
That's
DK won't practice Wednesday, but Mike McDonald said he's optimistic the wideout will return Thursday and then play
okay.
Sunday. So I guess we're gonna see what
So was it
happens
like it was
tomorrow's
a hamstring?
practice. It was his knee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he bothered his knee a little bit, but nothing. He sprained something, but
Yeah.
he'll be back if not this week, definitely next week, and I'll just throw in Cedric Tillman or something.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
I heard he was afraid to play them boys from Buffalo. That's why he sat out last week.
I don't know if anyone's saying that about Buffalo, but
Oh,
we'll see.
really?
Winnie, see,
Okay.
so you guys can't hear, but everyone who's listening right now can hear my dog barking at the door because again, I guess my neighbors came home and both their dogs are going crazy, so she's going nuts.
You ever think about beating that thing? Teaching her not to bark?
No,
Or getting her a bark collar?
no, no, I don't have any of those. No, I'm not getting her any of that stuff. And I can tell you for sure that I'm not letting her anywhere near Loesch either. He'll never get to meet her.
Why is that?
Because then he's gonna beat his thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, exactly. Ugh. All right. Well, Jordan, who you got? Matchup of the week.
I'll be completely honest. I didn't prepare for this, and I don't have the matchups in front of me. But we discussed it earlier, and I think it's a fitting matchup of the week to track the Ward Dus because he's playing double. No, who's double XP playing?
2XP is playing Chungus Begins.
Yes. So that's my matchup of the week to see if Chungus can begin on a new hot step, a new right foot, and get the Ward Dus. Probably get some vibes from the Ward Dus as well, and start a little run for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see, and I think if he changes the name, it's gonna happen. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yeah,
Also, I'm always for rooting for the lower teams because it just keeps the league interesting.
yeah, it does, and I like the matchup, Kirk and Kyler. I love the running back matchup. I love the wide receiver matchup. I think Matt has the upper hand at the tight end spot, but I think that JB has the upper hand at the wide receivers. I think Matt has the upper hand at the flex. I think that the defenses, well, actually, he has a bye week defense in there right now, which is the only reason he's projected to lose. So he's got to figure that out. So yeah, it'll be an interesting matchup for sure. And another interesting matchup that I want to list as my personal matchup of the week is the matchup between the man I gave my winner of the week to and my loser of the week to. Another 4-4 battle. The Kingslayer versus EC Breezy Cover Girl. Give him a little more airtime. This one, listen, last year I was on this trip where I was only picking matchups with sexual tension. I'm not doing that this year. Not at least on a consistent basis. But this week, yeah, this is a sexual tension matchup. I don't know if it's the most because there's a lot of sexual tension this week. Cole and Wardle, me and Va, and then this one. But there's with two teams being 4-4 and one of them being recently coming down from a hot streak and one of them just on this complete slay. I'm interested to
Unintended.
see. The projection is super close, not that it matters. And you have I mean a bold move to start Tua for Tuck on a bye week. I believe what is a bye week for. No, it's not even a bye week. No, because Joe Mixon's in the lineup. So he's just starting Tua over Stroud. And then Jaden Daniels. The running backs are interesting. The wide receivers are interesting. I think Ted's got the upper hand, even though he's projected to lose personally. But I'm interested to see because this is a big one in terms of their records and just streaks beginning and ending. Or is Tuck going to continue on the spiral back down? Is this like something where he's coming crashing down to reality after getting hyped up, or is and is Ted going to continue like this trek? Because remember, he was last year he was second place, so he's in this season with a vengeance. And so is this his rise? Is this the beginning of his rise, slaying the king and then just taking it and running with it? I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the
Yeah,
matchup?
I like it. I like it. I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see if Tuck can rebound after the little skid he's got now. It's he kind of has to, right? I mean, you gotta rebound from the L's to show that you can make it in the playoffs and show that you can win it all.
Yeah.
So I think with Puka coming back, that's going to help him tremendously. But at the same time, Ted's coming off a hot week, so Ted's riding high.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
One thing I will say, I feel like Ted does have a little bit more depth in his bench, whereas Tuck, like Josh Jacobs is questionable right now. You got Brian Thomas Jr. questionable, but then not too many good options. Obviously, you can always just swap someone in if someone ends up getting hurt, but I'd have to give the edge to Ted on this one too. But just slightly, it'll be a good game.
I'm sorry, you said you're edging Ted?
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I'd edge Ted. So,
Yeah, who wouldn't?
yeah, and I'm giving him the edge too. I like how his team looks. So we'll have to see how it plays out. Va, weren't you a Jamar Chase guy last year?
I was a Jamar Chase guy.
Do you miss him?
Um, I would say if I compare him to my current receivers, 100%. I do remember there was a love hate relationship with him last year, especially with the way Burrow was performing, with his was a finger or something.
Yep.
So I definitely cursed Jamar Chase a lot last year, but he's been solid this season, and I do miss him, especially when I have the fucking Jets duo fucking me over every week.
Yeah, you love them. You love them.
I swear, they. Yeah. No.
All right. Well, speaking of things that are loved, how about we transition into our next segment and we start looking at what's going on the waivers. Yeah, that's where someone was supposed to. All right. Yeah, remember we all have access to the soundboard. People, show some love. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm kind of driving, so I can't really access the soundboard.
Sounds like you don't care enough about the pod. You care more about your life.
I'm new. I don't know how Discord works.
That's true.
That's okay. It's all right. We got it. Well, I'll go ahead and get. So, Jordan, are you unable to do the pocket watch then?
Yes, correct. Unable.
All right. Va, we haven't done this before, but would you like to do the offers report and then I can hit the pocket watch?
Offers report. Okay, yeah, I'd be. How about I do the pocket watch, because that's all. I feel like less talking for me.
But the people don't get to hear your voice that often.
That's true.
Listen,
That's
the
true.
man wants to do the pocket watch. Let him do the pocket watch.
All right. You want the pocket watch? That's fine. I'll do the. I'm just trying to spread the wealth, since I'm
No, I
such
get
a
it.
horrible
You're a
co-host
good
that
guy.
that hogs it up.
You're a giver. You're a giver.
Yeah, 100%. So all right, well, let's get into it. Thursday, October 24th, the waivers were slightly active, and we actually had a snipe. We had a snipe the day after last Wednesday's waivers, where Lights, Camera, Action Jackson sniped the Ravens defense from Skiddly Diddly Biddly Curse of Ra Italy Osis, Watson Loesch, who only put down, well, he didn't put down anything. It was a $0 bid. So he sniped him for $1, got the Ravens D, and I added Jordan Addison and dropped Tuck and I's love child, Sean Tucker, for $0.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't working out.
So you put your child on the street?
I did, yeah, and Tuck wasn't even willing to go pick him up.
Wow.
So he's been walking home for a good week and a half now. But he's out there if anyone wants him. Sean Tucker. He looks just like me and Tuck. Va, have you seen his picture?
Yeah, I have.
Dude, he looks
It's
just
uncanny.
like me and Tuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But he acts more like Tucker. He's got Tucker's personality.
Well, he's got my eyes, so, and my lips.
True.
And your skin.
Yeah, so I mean that's it is what it is.
Honestly, what does he have from Tuck?
I guess according to Va, his personality.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, I think he's got Tuck's
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which means he's in for a rough life.
I mean, we've all had Tucks at some point.
That's true. That's true.
That's a great point.
That is a great point. Man, it's like we get Va onto the pod, and it's always the most, what's the word?
Intellectual.
Yeah, it's always the most intellectual pod that we have.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
there's just so much deep analysis, and he brings up points that I didn't even think of.
Yeah. No, he definitely dives deep.
Oh, dude. He dives real deep.
The last person you started sucking this much did not do well. So let's move on.
All right, well, we'll move on to Friday, October 25th, when the Curse of Ra, after utterly failing to get the Ravens defense because of a snipe from Wardle, gets the Lions defense, which ended up being the better option because they ended up giving him a fat 17 points. And I've actually been toying with him. So if you guys want to jump in on this, I would actually appreciate it. I've been sending him text messages where I say, I saw he added the defense, so I sent the picture of, like the gif of SpongeBob making that face when he says, "You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?"
Yeah.
So I send that face and I say, "You like the Lions, don't you, Skidly?" And he keeps trying to refute it. He's like, "I like points." He's like, "I worship at the altar of points." And so
he likes the Lions.
He does, and so I send him that. I'm just not even doing the "You like the Lions." I just send him the GIF of the "You like Krabby Patties." So if you want to jump in on that, he just doesn't respond to me anymore at this point, but I keep sending him.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna jump in on that, but I will say on the pod he is a Lions fan.
Yeah, no, he's big time. Yeah.
Only because that's kind of your thing. Like you just announced that's your thing to send that to him, so I don't want to come between you guys. You guys have a thing together. That's cute.
So you won't come between us, but what about on us?
I don't really know what you mean by that.
Like, you know how you if you're coming on to somebody, you're hitting on them, like flirting with them.
Yeah,
okay.
I guess I have heard that term used like that before.
Okay, this person's really coming on to me right now. Yeah, that's what I meant.
So no, I don't think I will.
Okay. All right, yeah, that's fair. Well, you had Follow Spike add Trey Palmer, which didn't do anything for him with a $0 ad, but activity from the Follow Spike, who's had plenty of it this season. And then the Cameron Dicker the Kicker ad by Loesch dropping Cam Little. I think maybe it wasn't a bye week, so I guess he just wanted Dicker the Kicker.
Well,
Is
he's
it
on a
by Tuck?
Yeah, Tuck added him.
Dicker the Kicker's on a bye.
No, I was thinking if he had dropped Cam Little because he was on a bye, but the Jaguars weren't on a bye, so I guess he just dropped Cam Little because he didn't like him.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So he has Dicker.
And then
Dicker. I don't even know if he still has Dicker on his team. I guess we'll find out with these waivers. But that's all that was for Friday. There was no activity on Saturday. And then Sunday is where I almost made a mistake. I made a mistake that almost cost me a win this week. But I'll get to mine because we have to start with a $1 ad on a Sunday from Kingslayer to get Bo Nix. And then another $1 ad that was unsuccessful for Russell Wilson. So I think he was trying to get a backup in case Jaden Daniels didn't play. Kingslayer. But he had Anthony Richardson. So maybe he was just wanting to weigh options. So he added Bo Nix. And then I added Dalvin Cook and dropped Cade Otton. Big mistake. I added Calvin Ridley, which I liked that move. But Dalvin Cook, I don't have Cade Otton put up 24 points on like 10 catches. And I sat again. This is what happens to me. I said you said why you asked me last week why I added Cade, and I said because I think he's going to be the one who actually ends up getting the targets, not the wide receivers. And I was right, but I dropped him. So now, well, let's get to Wednesday and we find out. Right at the very top of the list. Today, Cade Otton was added by the Kingslayer for $23. Kingslayer, who has the number one tight end in fantasy already, in George Kittle.
$23.
$23, and the only other bid was me on a $0 bid. Just to see, and there was no other bids, and I was actually kind of shocked. I wondered when I saw it if this was one of those cases where everyone's like, "Oh, everyone's going to drop $40 on him, so I'm just not going to do it." And then no one.
Yeah, that was my thinking.
No one bids.
I would have put in like 15 or so, I think, on him, with only like 30 some left. But good to know that I wouldn't have gotten him anyways.
Yeah. Yep. Ted got him for 23. Plus, Kittle's on a bye week this week, so he needs him.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then Lights, Camera, Action, Jackson added Jerry Jeudy for $6. The Kingslayer added the Bengals defense for $5, winning a bidding war, but it really wasn't much of a bidding war because you had 2XP Weekend and EC Breesy both doing $0 bids and not getting the Bengals defense. Who are the Bengals playing this week that people are adding them? Oh, the Raiders. Yeah, that makes sense. Then you've got the Commanders, which, listen to this. You had an unsuccessful ad for the Commanders for $4, which was Teddy's backup, because he managed to get the Bengals. And so because of that, EC Breesy, who also had the Commanders, I guess, as a backup based on waiver order, ended up getting the Commanders defense, who they're playing this week, the Giants. And then you have the Texans. So Teddy Boy here was he had the defenses ready to go because he's had another $4 to drop on the Texans that he didn't end up spending because he got the Bengals. And then you, off of the defenses, you have Big Chungus Begins adding Khalil Shakir. You have interesting. Okay. So listen to this. I think help me put these puzzle pieces together. Va, are you looking at the offers report right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
So we're on Taysom Hill for Ted. He didn't get Taysom Hill for $1 because a player involved has already been dropped. I'm imagining that player must be Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I would back up to Cade Otton if he didn't get Cade Otton.
Back up to Cade Otton. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Because That's my
Yeah.
fault. He's a tight end. I always think of Taysom Hill as a quarterback because I never have him on my team. But he is a tight end. Okay.
Mm.
And then Will Lutz added by Follow Spike for $0, dropping Trey Palmer, and then I added Dallas Goddard for $0, and the
Did you
Eagles.
drop?
What's that?
You dropped him like a week ago, right?
I dropped him 2 weeks ago, but he didn't play last week
Uh-huh.
because of. Well, no, he did play. He didn't play because he was hurt. So
Gotcha.
I didn't feel an urgency to pick him up until this week, and so I managed. I wasn't sure if I'd get him, because I feel like when he comes back healthy, he could end up being okay. And I might
Yeah.
start him against you since you have Hurts this week. It might be a good,
Yep.
one. We'll see if he actually ends up being healthy. But
Yeah.
he's back on my team as a second to Laporta in case Laporta can't maintain consistency. And then you had to finish it off. You had the Eagles defense added by Lights, Camera, Action Jackson, and then you had Justin Herbert added by me for just peering into the future when Josh Allen has his bye week. Yeah, and that's less entertaining than other weeks have been, but we had we had some snipes in the segment, and we had
Yeah.
some waiver competitions, uh, and we had a big spend, so not too bad for our waiver segment.
Yep. All right. I do have a question for Wardle, just regarding his team name. Because in my head, I feel like I always pronounce it Lights Kamara Action Jackson. Because it's Kamara, but obviously that's camera action. So I'm just curious, how do you pronounce it, Wardle?
Is Wardle in here or something?
Well, if I had to
No, like
say,
when he
I would
listens to the
probably
pod.
say.
And I'm gonna win the
No, he
league.
just answered.
This soundboard going crazy.
I say camera on purpose because I feel like because
Oh,
Wardle does, and as he said before, he gets mad that we try to claim he doesn't listen to the pod. So if he's an avid listener of the pod, I just feel like it makes him just a little angry every time I say
yeah.
camera. So I just like to
Is
get him
he
all
angry or is he angry?
angry and hot and bothered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that just carries over to Vegas. So I'm just trying to plant that
So
seed
then he
now.
can just let out his frustration on
I'm
you.
trying to plant the seed now so I can plant my seed later.
Yeah.
Were you one of those kids? Were you one of those kids that pronounce your R's as W's?
No, were you?
No,
Okay, so
no.
you
I
you weren't
hated those.
you didn't say you were Jodin.
No, I
You didn't say widowy?
Widowy? You just quitty. No, I did not. Those kids actually pissed me off. I would. I was not friends with kids that had stupid little speech impediments like that. Say, oh, you're too dumb to speak, dumb. I would actually get angry.
Do you want to hear something crazy? I'm teaching about I'm getting to Teddy Roosevelt right now in the curriculum, and I'm asking these kids like to try and bring the point because in these standard classes where they don't have any idea who Teddy Roosevelt is, not like by like what he's known for as president. So I was like trying to like relate it to something that they knew, and I brought up Night at the Museum, the movie. You both have seen that, right?
Yeah.
Which one?
Just I mean the first one. The first one. I mean
No,
I think they all have
yeah.
Teddy, but that I was like, yeah, Night at the Museum. Half of them didn't know what in the world I was talking about, and then I
Well,
realized
yeah,
they were
that
born
shit
the
was
year.
from
A lot of them were born the year
15
it
years
came
ago.
out. I was like, what the heck?
How
That's
how
actually
old do
crazy
you
that
feel?
I would. Well, honestly, they were more shocked. I was like, wow. I'm like, you guys don't even know what I can't even reference Night at the Museum because you were just born. I'm like, that's nuts. I'm like, and then I said, I forget which class it was, but I was just like, yeah, that's crazy. I'm like, and I don't even because like I was 9, and that shocked them more than me being shocked because then they started to try to do the math and start calculating how
Like
old I
Halloween.
was. Um,
I think
but
it's hilarious that you tried to use a reference from when you were a kid to relate to kids today.
well, I
That you're
mean,
teaching.
if I reference
Yeah.
like if you reference something like SpongeBob, like I've mentioned SpongeBob, not necessarily for a historical reference, but just bringing up like in casual conversation, like SpongeBob as a show. Like
Oh yeah, because that's such like a
sometimes
classic.
sometimes I'll just say things to trigger my classes on purpose. I'll just say like whatever it is, like if it's like at the beginning of the class, I'm just saying, hey, like how's your day been so far, stuff like that. And if a comes up, whatever for whatever reason, TV shows come up, and I'll mention like SpongeBob, and I'll be like, I'm like, oh, you guys don't know SpongeBob, like you guys were too young for
Yeah, yeah.
SpongeBob, and I'll say that like on purpose, thinking that like they'll get upset, which most of the time they do. If they're not, if they're even listening to me, because sometimes I'll be up there, hey guys, it's time to learn, and they'll just all have their headphones in,
One, two,
and they'll
three,
start,
eyes on me.
yeah, and they'll start throwing papers at me and just sit there on their phones with their headphones in, tell me to go
Yeah.
sit down. But when that's not happening and I'm actually talking to them,
Sit
yeah,
down, you little
they'll
goofy
be
head
like,
ass.
what do you mean we don't know SpongeBob? We know SpongeBob, and so Night at the
No, I'm
Museum
picturing a
shocked
bunch
SpongeBob's
me.
of little
universal.
kids.
What's that?
I said SpongeBob's universal. That's like I feel like
Yeah, it's
everybody
like a
knows
classic.
SpongeBob.
You know what's funny about
Like
you
I've
saying
talked.
that? SpongeBob actually is like Universal owns the rights to SpongeBob.
That's true. There is that little pineapple in
Yeah,
Universal Studios,
yeah,
right?
there is. Yep. Um,
Dude, I'm such a pun guy. I'm so punny.
dude, it's hilarious. Um, what would be even punnier is if you could do the Pocket Watch segment and risk your life for us.
Oh,
Baba.
I guess that's a no. All right, Va.
I guess no.
Looks like it's you.
All right, let's do it. So, starting from the highest, right? Just correct me if I'm wrong. But
Listen, you could do
looking
it.
at
You
the
could go middle out if you want to.
oh, true. Okay, no, we'll stick to the proper way. All right, so number one with the most free agent bucks, we got Follow Spike with $83. After him, we got at number two Double XP Weekend with $78. Oh man, the skill
You're doing great.
required
You're
for
doing
this.
great. Keep
All
going.
right, after that, we got Curse of Ra with $53. Right behind him, we got the Kingslayer with $41 left. And then we got Captain Dr. Vava, yours truly, with $37. And then, all right, then starts getting close. We got Chungus Begins at number six with, or whatever it is, at $14. Lights Kamara Action Jackson is next with $12. And then the last team to have some waiver wire bucks is Living in Babylon with $5.
Ooh,
And then tied for last with $0 is Biting Kneecaps and Easy Breezy Cover Girl.
Wow, that
nice.
was
Where was I missed it, but where was Kingslayer on that? After that
Kingslayer,
$23, where's he
well,
at?
he's at $41, which is
Oh wow.
fourth. Yeah, he's fourth.
Oh, he had some money then. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I guess if he was at 70 something, so dropping 20, not
Yep.
too bad.
I shed like 2 milky tears during that segment. Good job.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's good.
Only two.
I'm saving the rest for Vegas.
Love it.
Yep.
Semen retention for Vegas.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing to get ready.
Yep. Yep.
Yep, for sure. You
Why do
gotta
you
be
think I'm
prepared.
edging Ted?
All right. Well, we've gone through our pocket watch, so let's move along. Just to take a quick look at the Watson standings. We'll go down to the final standings projection. Take a look at what's going on here. All right, and since Jordan's driving, I can take this one here. We've got. Well, maybe the team just needs a Snickers. Let's see who might need a Snickers. So let's start with the ones who don't need a Snickers, ones who have been apparently chowing on Snickers. 2XP weekend shot from 9th draft day position all the way to first place, projected to finish first. Lines up with the rankings.
Wow.
You have.
I
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I do want to compare to last week. I think I agree with Ted.
Oh, here we go. They want us to do more work.
Yeah,
I
here we
have
go.
it pulled up.
Here we
I have it
fucking
pulled
go.
up.
Okay, hey, yeah, you know what? Hey, you take the segment, okay? You
Alright.
take it. Have
Alright,
fun. Have fun.
No, it's a tag.
Okay.
It's a tag team segment.
No, I'm out. I'm a listener. So you
No,
you two
Sean,
tag
no,
it. You two tag
No,
it.
Sean.
no, don't shave. Don't do it.
Tim, no! No! Dude, he had the biggest smile on his face when we were doing that too. They don't want me to shave. I'm shaving. Oh, that poor kid, man. That poor guy. Jeez. Did he come say hi to you two at the wedding? Because I know
He did
he
not.
went and stopped by the table with all the guys at it, but I don't know if he stopped to see you guys because you weren't at that table.
He said hi to me.
He did?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
I saw him while we were eating, but like didn't make eye contact. I just saw him. But like he was behind a few people, and then by the time we were like on the dance floor or something, I didn't see him anymore. So didn't get a chance to go over to say hi to him. I don't know if he knew where I was sitting, but
Mm.
fortunately not.
Well, what go ahead and take this, Va. I mean, we can tag team it
All right.
realistically, but you seem to got the screenshot on you, so go ahead.
Okay. So I'll just go from top team to bottom team. So looking at follow Spike. Draft day, he was number 1. He had dropped down to number 5 last week, and now he went from 5th last week to 8th this week. So downward trajectory. Speaking of downward trajectories, next is Easy Breezy Cover Girl. Second on draft day, 4th last week, and now 6th this week in the power rankings, in the Watson power rankings. Looking at Lights, Kamara, Action Jackson. Goddamn, that's a tongue twister. He's kind of bouncing back and forth. He was 3rd on draft day. He was 2nd last week, and he's back down to 3rd this week. So kind of sticking around 2nd, 3rd. Captain Dr. Vava, 4th on draft day, dropped down to 6th last week, but now back to 4th, back to his original draft day position. All right, we got Kingslayer next. I want to dedicate the segment to the Kingslayer. It's his idea. And I strongly feel like you guys should adopt this. Fuck you. He was 5th on draft day, dropped to 7th last week, but he's back to 5th this week. All right, looking at Chungus, no real change for him, actually. 6th on draft day, and he dropped to 10th last week, and he's still at 10th this week. All right, Biting Kneecap, 7th on draft day, dropped down to 8th last week, but after this win this past week, he's back to 7th, back to his original draft day position. All right, now we got the 3 originally bottom teams making kind of a come up. We got Curse of Raw. Draft day was projected at 8th. Last week went up to 3, and then this week even higher. Now 2nd.
And I'm gonna win the league.
Watson is favoring Watson.
No
and
surprise
then
there.
double XP, no surprise. Double XP weekend, projected 9th at the beginning of the season. Jumped to 1st, or was projected 1st last week, and he's still at 1st, so no change for him. But I think we all agreed strong team. deserves that number one spot. And then we got Living in Babylon. Rough season, but
Ooh.
staying at ninth. So start of the season projected at 10th. It was ninth last week and still at ninth this week.
That doesn't deserve claps.
It's a green arrow.
Hey. Yeah. That was beautifully done. And hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and call this what it is. If you want the segment to be this whole screenshot, because I thought that was very well done. If people who are coming on in the future, if you want this, you're responsible for it. So be prepared, like Va.
I think that's fair, right?
It's a fan segment now. This is now officially a fan segment.
I don't know who else is gonna feel that strongly about it besides Teddy Boy and myself.
Well, we'll have to see. You might have just started a movement.
Yeah.
And speaking of movements starting, there's movements going on in my bowels a little bit because
I love it.
I ate a shakaroni. And I know I feel like all of us have been eating shakaronis lately.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and well, listen, I've had a slice and I'm currently munching on one. I can just let it out now, or if anyone's got theirs, then they can go before me. I usually always offer it up to as tradition to the guest first to share their shakaroni take.
Uh, you can go first. I have a couple, but I think I've been talking for the last couple segments, so let's
Yeah, that sounds
switch it
good.
over to you. Yeah.
All right, so there's two things fantasy wise that are tearing me up on inside. And just this shakaroni is just making its way, through my bowels. Does a shakaroni even become poo, or does it just come out as a shakaroni?
I think it
It's
just comes out as a ball of shakaroni.
picture take a shakaroni, ball it up as tight as you can, the entire pizza, just mash it into a giant ball, and that's
Right.
what it comes out as.
And then just like blood too, right?
Oh, obviously, yeah.
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 Okay. All right.
Well,
So
that's just a normal. Blood is just in every poop. Like every poop has got some blood in it, right?
Va,
Yeah.
can you confirm this?
Can confirm. And I think if you don't have it, then you have to make sure you're getting the blood by the time you're done wiping.
Okay, good. I'm just checking.
All right. Well, here's here's what's tearing me up with these shacaronis I've been munching on. Two things. So one, it's just a personal thing. It's just me, being torn up about my running back core. My running back core has been tearing me up. Chubb Hub, I haven't been getting a Chubb for him recently because he's dropped from a top 10 back, as I think many would have expected. And he's only really had one. I mean, he's been slowly going downhill. So it's like at week 3, it was 28. At week 4, it was 22, 16, 14, 12, 9. So a steady decline every week for him as he falls out of the top 10 rankings. And as Jonathan Brooks is supposedly set to make his debut, which, listen, I drafted Jonathan Brooks late for a reason because he's a beast. And if he takes over, full time, great. Maybe my running game gets boosted. But also, the Panthers stink. And Bryce Young ruins any running back. Because also in correlation with the numbers going down has been Andy Dalton not starting anymore. They're back to Bryce Young. So that's just a mess. It's like my running back core is like these tandems, and even if they are, like, it's been a disaster because like the Panthers, the Cowboys, and the Jaguars are not the running back rooms you want to have anyway. And now there's like this weird timeshare with the Cowboys. There's about to be a timeshare with Brooks. There's a weird timeshare with Tank Bigsby and ETN. So like my running backs are just, it's why I think, and this was my other thing tearing me up, is that I've been consistently in the bottom of the rankings, which I understand, but it just tears me up to see it. Apparently not as bad as Tuck, but like I've been sitting at 10 for a couple weeks and 9-10 for a while, and like I know it's because of my running backs, because I know my quarterback's good. I know my wide receivers are good. I know my tight ends. There's very few people with good tight ends. And then my defense kicker are great. My flex works. So I know my rankings are low because anybody who hops on here looks at my running back core and just sees how freaking disgusting it is. And I've tried to make I've tried to not be like some massive wheeler dealer this year. I made a minor trade to get Dowdle to see if that could do anything because he is the lead back. But that's just I mean, there's no solution to this problem. Um,
Yeah.
I just have awful running backs, and I've reached out. I mean, I've reached out to pretty much anybody who has 3 to 4 good running backs. I normally target the people with 4 because I have respect for those who have 3 good ones and want that third one in their flex because that's my strategy normally. Um, so like there's a couple though that have like 4 serviceable running backs on their squad, and like I can't get a trade worth crap. It's like the value being asked for, like I would have to overspend basically to get
Yeah.
what most people are asking for just a mid back. Because a mid back to me is decent value. And I think that's what they're trying to sell it off of. But like that doesn't mean the player is that valuable. So I can't strike a deal. I can't get the waivers rolling because I mean, have you seen running backs on the waivers? Like
No,
if
they're
you look at
complete
last year's
ass.
points, like we've picked those waivers clean for running backs. Um, like it's a hopeless position for me. I'm afraid it could cost me the league. Um, so
Yeah.
but I'm also not going to dismantle my team to get one running back either. I get at this point I'm just playing the at this point I'm just hoping Pacheco can come back
Yeah. I think
and
that's your best bet.
and
And
that
then
Brooks
string
can
like the
maybe
second
just
running back.
take over and be good enough. Because look, we all love a good Chubb, but we know that Chubb, he's been playing well, but we also know that Chubb isn't like a game breaking running back. Um, like there are running backs that are good even when their team's not good. Like think about Derrick Henry when he had Ryan Tannehill or Marcus Mariota, like still a beast. Could Jonathan Brooks be that and save my running game? Maybe not his rookie year coming off an injury, but I'm hoping it could be because I have no answers. And that's what's tearing me up is I've tried, I have no answers for my running backs this year. I mean, I got ravaged with ETN and Pacheco. So, yeah, that's what's
Man,
tearing me up.
that's a big ball of macaroni right there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that is. That is.
It's an unfixable position for me. I've tried everything within reason, and it's either no one will bite or there's no options. So, and then like I get Dowdle. Like you can't make this shit up. I get Dowdle, and then there's a headline a day later, 2 days later, Dalvin Cook's getting activated for the Cowboys. What the fuck? Like I can't even get like a low end mid tier starter to even just be the only guy. Like now we've got all
Yeah.
this shit going. So it's just
Another timeshare, yeah.
it's just another, like I can't avoid the timeshares. Like it's just it's nuts. So it's the
Yeah,
most
that is
baffled
crazy.
I've been in all my time playing fantasy at a position. This is the weakest I feel like I've had a position that I've not been able to fix. So yeah, I mean, and I don't even see like I said earlier, like I can't, like I'm not going to give up DK Metcalf for, and I'm just going to use this hypothetical. I'm not going to give up a DK Metcalf for like Jordan's Tony Pollard or Loesch's, because he's got a couple backs on there.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give up Terry for one of those guys. But you can't get like Jordan, if I went and I
Yeah.
said, "Hey, DK for," like this is all hypothetical. If I said DK for Dobbins, because I know you're not trading even right now anyway. Um, like you would not like that value of a wide receiver for a running back straight up, DK for
Yeah.
No.
Dobbins, because I would say
Yeah, I think
Dobbins is a tier above Pollard.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
so, and I'm not going to give up DK for Pollard, but then DK is not enough for Dobbins, and Dobbins isn't even your best tier guy. You've got like Kyron Williams. it's like that obviously I wouldn't even seriously offer that, but I don't even have the pieces to like. Well, those are one of those untradeable guys anyway. So it's like I can't land a guy like a
You're
Dobbins.
stuck with.
I'm stuck, yeah, because I'm not gonna give up a DK for a guy like a Pollard. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm literally just stuck in this. Well, I'm just gonna have to roll with these crap backs and hope
And
for the
hope for the
best.
best.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that thing basically. Whenever I do what's tearing me up, I do it while the chacaroni's coming out of my butt.
No,
So that whole time I kept going because it was
it's
still
raw.
coming out. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, like there's blood
Yeah.
everywhere right now.
Yeah.
No, trust me, we get it.
Yeah,
At least I do. I get it.
Yeah. I know Jordan for sure.
yeah. So sorry to go so long, but who else has got one that's tearing them up?
I got two. One regular fantasy or regular football. Not gonna go too much into it, but man, that fucking Bears game was tough to watch.
Mm,
Um,
yeah,
we
that's a
had no fucking business winning that game, and we played like ass the entire like 3 quarters. I want to say somehow got the lead right, and then it's that hope that I'm sure you guys are, familiar with that hope of like, oh shit, like, are we gonna win this? Or like, is this gonna happen? We don't
Oh
deserve the win.
yeah.
I fully agree with that. But hey, like, the past like what 6-7 weeks has been, wow, the NFC North is super strong. The Bears have like a good like winning streak going. But listen, you've played ass teams. You've played the Panthers. You played the Jaguars, and you've like just beat terrible teams. So this week it's like, okay, we're facing the Commanders. We're probably going to lose. And then like towards the end of the game, it's like, all right, like we could actually beat a like top team in the NFL. Completely undeserved, but it could happen. We could still like be like 5-2 or something. Um, Especially with the way the rest of the NFC North has been, just killing it. And then that fucking Hail Mary. It's like I don't know, I don't know what I expected. We deserved to lose it. We were losing the entire time, but just that glimmer of hope that just gets shut down by that kind of play is just the worst.
You seen the
Um,
have you seen the alternate angles of
yeah,
that
with the
defensive back?
fucking defense, yeah, just talking
Yeah.
shit to the crowd
yes,
and then
Yep.
going
yeah,
and actually pulling the Tuck Nugent.
The tuck tip.
the tuck tip
God,
drill, baby.
the I have one of my friends from med school is a diehard Cowboys fan. So the week that the Lions just absolutely shat on them, I think that was last week. I was sending him all these memes and stuff, and then I think this is just payback.
Yeah,
This is karma. But the other ones related to fantasy, not terrible because I think this is just me hoping and having a bit of hope. But similar to your situation with a, I guess not similar. I don't think it's that like as dire, unfortunately for you. But my receiving core, I am not a huge fan of because you come into the season, you expect Garrett Wilson to be pretty solid, and he's been solid up until recently. And then Devontae Adams, you expect coming from the Packers, having the history with Rodgers, to actually be good. But the Jets are just a shit franchise and are terrible, and it's affecting my fantasy receivers. So that's not fun. My only other options, Devontae Smith, who solid, but he's a number two. And then I picked up McMillan, thinking with the injuries that Tampa Bay has, might get something going, but receiving core is just ass. But that's one thing that's been tearing me up. But every week I tell myself, listen, it's Devontae. Like you guys said on the pod, like he's one of your starters. You got to play your studs. So um, we'll see if I keep doing that. Um, but yeah, that's my chacaroni, my two big balls of chacaroni.
hey, listen,
Okay.
that's fair.
That's
I hear
fair.
you. What about you, Jordan?
Oh, well, this is actually something that recently came up, completely unfantasy related. I bought one of those gas station dick pills to try to keep me awake, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
And on this call, I had to take a little piss, so I grabbed the water bottle, started pissing. While the pill kicked in, now I'm
Oh
rock
no,
hard. My penis is stuck in this bottle, and I don't know how many hours I'm gonna have to sit with this piss-filled bottle on my penis, but it's tearing me up.
man.
It's painful.
I
I'm pretty
I think he's
sure.
telling the truth.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, we've all been there. I think the proper medical guidance is if you have an erection lasting for more than 40 hours, go to the doctor. But anything less than that, you should be fine.
Then it's an issue, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, this is
24 hours,
you know,
you're fine.
it's gonna ruin my night.
Well,
But that's
Can
that's,
you?
that's
Can you?
all
how'd
I
you
had.
hold on? What kind of bottle?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
like
what I was meant to ask.
yeah, like one of those Nestle water bottles with a really small opening on the top, you know.
Yeah. So
Oh, dude,
how?
I was, well, I was soft when I started peeing. And
Right,
it's kind
but
Okay,
of cold,
and then it
kind of
kicked
cold
in.
up here. Like it's 70 degrees. It's a little chilly,
so
you
Yeah,
know.
I feel like I can't even fit. Like I can't even put like two thin pens together and fit them through one of those bottle caps. So I know you said
What do you
soft, but
What do you mean? No,
like
well, no, wait.
like
I'm surprised. Like even like fully erect, how is he stuck?
well,
that's
it's
That's
a
a
what
good
I'm
point.
wondering.
Yeah.
It's a Zephyr Hills bottle, so it's got the really small opening.
I mean, the opening's not that small. I'd say it's a little bigger than average.
And so wait, does that mean the way you're sitting that the bottle's like upside down, the only thing holding the pee in is
Well, I'm kind of
Like the
like
pressure.
no, so I moved my seat back and then scooted up to like the edge of my seat. So it's kind of like you ever tied weights to the tip of your peen and like hung them off, you know, like kind of like
Yeah,
pendulum.
like those Dick
well, come on,
Olympics.
we've all been to the gym. Who hasn't done
Correct.
peanups?
Correct. Yes. So it's like that, but just with a bottle full of piss and a wreck dong.
Is there anything
Okay.
else in the bottle?
Anything else in the bottle?
Yeah, or was it empty completely?
No, there's some sunflower seeds in there
Okay.
that I
Wait,
was.
Teddy Boy's with you?
That'd be nice, but no, he might be able to help me get it off.
Oh.
Is there any blood in the bottle?
Blood, not yet, but who knows?
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Well, how long before like what's it called when you cut off circulation for too long? It becomes necrosis, right? There's not enough.
Necrosis, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe this although it's not really that tight, so I don't know how it's stuck, but I just can't get it off.
Well, I'm curious, why didn't you use your tumbler? Why don't you stick it in your tumbler?
Well, I'm not gonna piss in an inclusion and diversity tumbler, you fucking psychopath. What do
This
you
fucking
hate
guy.
inclusion and diversity?
This fucking guy.
That's not what I
He
said. I
teaches
just
our kids.
if you didn't want it to be trapped, maybe you use something that has a little bit of a bigger opening.
I don't think you get it. When I put my peen in there, there was plenty of space, but then the blood just started flowing. I'm honestly a little lightheaded. These pills work. Let's just say that. This Rhino Triple Extend, this thing is serious.
Wow.
Man.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my just slice of Shaq Brony. It's not really anything fantasy related. I apologize to Ted, but yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right. Well,
I feel like I
Fuck.
screamed enough last episode about what's tearing me up, and it's the same shit this week. So
that's fair. That's fair. Does anyone, and we always have to honor this because the fans get in an uproar if we don't. Um, do you have an icy hot take, Va?
Um I'll do a quick one right now. Let me think for a second. All right, and remember it's me, so it's my spicy hot take.
Oh, that's true. Oh, this is the Voss spicy hot take. I'm glad I brought
Yep.
it up.
My spicy hot take is I am going to be over 500 for the rest of the season.
That is
Okay.
spicy and that is hot.
Not dropping back down to a losing record.
Yeah, I don't like that take. I'm not a
Yeah,
fan of
because
that
that means a
take.
guaranteed win for me this week.
That's definitely spicy and hot. Have you seen my running back core?
Mm-hmm. I
So,
just spent fucking 30 minutes hearing about them.
exactly. So, uh, well, that's so you're gonna be all too familiar with them then when they both put up 20, and I did all that complaining for nothing.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
20
All right.
combined.
Well,
20
hey, in
yeah
the spirit
combined.
of
Yeah.
Bob
Okay.
being on the pod and offering us a spicy hot take,
Oh,
I'm going to let the league know that last week was my last loss of the season. I will win out. I will make the playoffs, and I will win back my trophy, the El Harambe, and engrave my pretty little name on that beautiful piece of hardware, that beautiful shrine to our one true league lord, Harambe.
And I'm gonna win the league.
Yeah, please don't make this clip when I am taking the SAT.
Hold on. Is this your version? Are you trying to be like Aaron? Is this your version of RELAX? Relax.
I wasn't trying that, but honestly, that might be what my team needs. Is just relax.
Hmm.
Did they win the Super Bowl that year?
No.
No.
They made the playoffs and got bounced.
So typical Packers fashion.
Yeah. All right. Well, in that case, we've got. Listen, we've reached the end. Vi, I know this is your second time with us this season?
I think first time this season.
Very first time. Okay.
Yep.
So,
I think I'd come back in November.
yes, yeah, we got you. We got you for November too. And listen, Val, we're excited. We're excited to see you for your bachelor party in a couple weeks. We'll mention
Same.
it again on next week's pod.
100%. I'm just happy, everyone's gonna make it. I still gotta figure out what the fuck we're gonna do for some of those, or for like during the day and shit. But we'll have a good time.
Oh, don't worry. In the casinos,
Oh
you
yeah.
don't even know it's daytime. You're just in there
That's
gambling
true.
away. Yep. Um. Well, listen. What last words do you have to give to the league before we close out?
Um, I guess I feel like this has been a good season. Close competition between everyone. Lots of upsets. Just it's a good league. Love being on the pod. Excited to hear what everyone thinks of the episode, and just I don't know. Good luck to everyone.
Some nice words. Jordan, you got anything?
Well, nice words from the beginning haven't worked for me. So fuck y'all.
Oh shit.
I'm coming for everybody. Dad,
Ooh.
you're just the first one in the crosshairs this week. I think I'm playing dead, but he's gonna regret leaving for cigarettes and never coming home.
It is
That's for
dead.
sure.
Yep. Well,
And I'll go to Harambe.
as always. And we'll leave it at that. So Dick's out for Harambe. Harambe for president. We can never forget why we do this league.
Of
And it's
course.
for Harambe. R.I.P. Harambe. I might be writing your name in for president actually on Tuesday next week. So all honor there, Harambe.
You don't early